Hello guys, this is Engineer Vikas Ahmed and I welcome you all people in oil and gas field project management application. So I'm going to explain oil and gas field project divisions and this is Engineer Vikas Ahmed, project management coach. So before entering in this field as a planning engineer, as a project management expert, specialist, you need to understand, you need to start everything from scratch level. That's what I'm going to share with you people, how we can segregate this industry into different kind of divisions. So as a planning control, we have to make ourselves comfortable to accept that knowledge as well. So this picture is going to explain all the story. This is actually one picture, but this is historical learning point of view. It's a very important thing. You can see there is a blue water and there are different kind of things are working, like there is a platform. I can mention over here, there is a platform, there is a seismic survey, ship is conducting that operation, there is a land area, there are pipelines, there are land rigs, there are, you can see, storage area, there are processing plants, refineries, and this picture is going to explain you different kind of oil and gas divisions and all that. So we have to make our mind to accept that how this industry is going to operate. So let's start. We can divide this industry into three categories. What are these three categories are? The first thing is upstream industry, then midstream industry, and then downstream industry. So you can identify, I will help you to memorize the things. You can just segregate up, mid, and down. It's going to help you to memorize this concept for a longer time. So up, mid, and down is going to deal with the people, departments, divisions who are going to deal with these hydrocarbons at their respective stages level. Okay. So I'm going to share with you, here we are, and the first slide is going to help us upstream phase. In upstream, you can see there are surveys and exploration. In this, because you can see that our oil and gas hydrocarbons are already underground. You can find at different geological report level, you can find 10,000 feet depth. Somewhere you can feed 5,000 feet depth. Somewhere you can find 40,000 feet depth. So everything is under, ground, and you have to drill. And after drilling, before drilling, you have to make survey to make your, hydrocarbon recovery productive way, because it involves $1 million. So you don't want to make drill in the area where you don't have any possibility or probability. So survey is the most impactful thing. So surveys which are going to conduct for oil and gas hydrocarbons findings are called seismic surveys. So industry, which is going to deal, a division which is going to deal with this, kind of work is going to be called as upstream, and survey is there. Exploration, once your survey is done and you come up with, more than 80%, you know, predictions that there is hydrocarbons, oil and gas. So you are going to prepare your team, your crew, your company for the drilling and exploration. You are going to conduct geological surveys to identify potential oil and gas reserves, utilize seismic surveys and other exploration techniques, geological reports and seismic data. So this is actually going to help you. So the industry which is going to deal with such kind of things, they are doing surveys, drilling, exploration. So these people are called upstream people. So here we can identify our, this is seismic survey is going on. There is drilling is going on. There is also drilling going on. So this part of picture, which is actually dealing with the reservoir, they are dealing, because reservoir is down there. This is reservoir. There is reservoir. And inside this land rig, under 10,000, 15,000, there is a reservoir as well. So the people who are going to deal with such kind of things, either they are working in survey, seismic survey, they are dealing with exploratory rigs, drilling rigs, they are working in upstream industry. So this portion of this picture is called upstream industry. And what are the major departments? Survey, drilling, exploration. Okay, so that's what upstream industry is for. So next is drilling, drill exploratory wells to confirm presence and access reservoir quality, types of well. There are, when you go into the details of oil and gas, there are different kind of wells: exploratory, appraisal, development, workover, we can call it. And this is actually drilling. The major purpose is to recover the hydrocarbons from the reservoir. So output: well logs, core samples, drilling reports. Okay, so that's what we have in upstream industry. So next we have production. Establish production wells based on drilling results. Once your drilling is done, I will share with you. See, once drilling is done, see here, this drilling is done. Drilling is done. What you need to do next thing? You have to make production team to be ready after recovery of these hydrocarbons. What you need to do? This establish production wells based on drilling results. Install production facilities. Obviously, your drilling is done, and now you have to make wellheads for the security, because there is thousands of psi pressure is involved, same like missiles. So you need to secure your environment as well. You have to tackle that pressure. Wellhead equipment is very important. Separator, which is going to separate your hydrocarbon fluids: gas, water, sand, oil. So separator is the first thing which is going to receive your oil and gas hydrocarbons from reservoirs and going to segregate your fluids on the basis of their gravity. Output: oil, gas, water production data, production reports. So all this is inside the upstream industry. You got it? Up to here, all the projects you are going to deal with will be under the umbrella of upstream industry. I'm going to explain again. So here, survey, drilling, either they're exploratory wells, development wells, appraisal wells, okay? And after drilling, you have to set up. So this is, there is wellhead. Once drilling is done, wellhead is there. You have to install, and after wellhead, it is coming up to separator. I have mentioned all the details of separator, how it's going to deal with that one. Okay. Later on part of this video series of oil and gas project planning control, I am going to share with you wellhead projects as well as a EPC construction projects. I'm going to share with you separator vessel projects as well in the part as a part of EPC construction projects. Okay. So next slide is midstream phase. Midstream is actually transportation. Once your drilling is done, let me draw over here. I'm not that much good, sketch drawer, but here I will help you to understand. Here is, you can see, this is land. This is, drill pipe. And from here, you can understand the things. This is your reservoir under the area, see? And this is, you can understand, 10,000 feet depth from here to there. Okay. So here is your reservoir, oil and gas trapped. So it is going to like through this one. This is okay. So there is perforation. Actually, when you are going to drill, this is steel pipe, and you are going to make perforation, whatever it is the way. So there you are going to install your wellhead. There are different kind of valves. There is one kill line valves. There is one production valve over here. There is master valve over here. There is swab valve over here. Okay. So you are going to make, these valves are actually going to control these things. So this production valve is going to connect with your production line, and there is one separator is going to deal with that. So that's how. But up to here, once you are going to set up everything, this is upstream. Now this production line is going to transport your reservoir hydrocarbons from one place, from the area of well to the production through via production line, they are going to transport to the required destination where they are need to be, they are supposed to be processed. You got my point? So this is transportation. So this midstream is started already. This is transportation, na? Your hydrocarbons are going to up to here. This is upstream. But once they are going to make transport, either from pipeline or via big trucks. So transportation is under midstream. So transport oil and gas from production sites to processing facilities, pipelines, tankers, trucks, API standards. Obviously, you are going to assess that how much pressure of that reservoir. Obviously, if pressure is going to be inserted, let's say this wellhead pressure is 2000 psi. So you are not going to install production pipeline of 1.5 ki psi because it's going to make some disaster. So your safe pressure should be there. So there is a designers team which can take reservoir samples, different kind of wellhead flow, samples, how much wellhead pressure. They are going to monitor wellhead static pressure, dynamic pressure, flowing pressure, and then they are going to go. They are going to collect the data that how much pressure is there. So on the basis of that data, the pipelines will be recommended how much safety margin should be there, their material should be there, safety regulations. Okay, it's very important. Human life is very important, environment is very important. So in oil and gas field, you are going to design your equipment, your pipelines on the basis of that data. So transportation schedules, pipeline inspection reports. So this is midstream industry. Okay, so in midstream, you can identify this. I have already labeled as upstream. Now this is midstream. This either this pipeline or there are some kind of trucks which are carrying your oil and gas. See, which are taking oil from here to there. Okay, so this is midstream, and then there is downstream phase, storage. Once transportation is going to be done, what you are going to do? You are going to make storage of your hydrocarbons and in tanks or reservoirs, ensure safety and environment compliance, inventory reports, storage tank inspection records, and then processing. Obviously, after storage, this hydrocarbon are going to be taken by the refineries to be segregated. You have kerosene oil segregation, diesel, gasoline. There is LNG, LPG, different kind of output or products to be processed from that oil and gas hydrocarbons. So this unit is going to deal with downstream industry, and I'm going to share with here. See, this is upstream, this is midstream. Now this is storage, and this is refineries. Our processing units are going to deal with the downstream industry. So can you please now reimagine the project industry in oil and gas sector? There you can see there ship making companies, seismic survey companies, platforms. There is fabrication involved. There are piling involved. Civil engineers need to be there if piling need to be there. Obviously, once piling will be done, then platform will be erected. So fabrication projects, then solar projects from where electricity will be generated to monitor the things and data routers and all that. So once it's done, offshore, onshore, same thing. And after that, buildings required in this field to accommodate people, roads need to be there, civil engineers required in this field, pipeline projects are there, then control instrumentation people are there, vessels projects, building projects, refinery projects, pipeline, fertilizer, petrochemical industry. So every kind of engineer can find their job career in oil and gas industry, either in upstream industry, midstream industry, or in downstream industry. So that is the basic thing as a oil and gas project planning control engineer. You should keep in your mind that how industry is divided on the basis of their functionality, on the basis of their dealing with hydrocarbons with respect to their stages. So whenever any project is going to start, there is one thing very common, field project phases and documentation. We call it feed. And how to go with that one? Feed, whenever any project will be proposed, feed front end engineering design. It's a very basic process. Whenever you are going to be proposed with pipeline construction project, any platform, anything, you are going to deal with this process. You need to understand, as a project planning control engineer, you have to understand the process of industry. Process is the most important thing. Okay, with logic, with software implementation, these important things are going to make you planning engineer. Okay, so what is the defined project scope? What you need to do, either if there is pipeline project, you have to mention that from this point to this point, how much length of that scope of work, and budget, how much you have in your hand, and schedule, how much time. Maybe you need 1 year to complete that project. Before and after this project, there are constraints. So you need to define your time, you need to define your budget, and you need to define what exactly you want to do. Conduct feasibility studies and risk assessment. Feasibility means, is it possible technically or financially? And risk assessment means, like, what are the possible things you can encounter and not in your favor, like risks which are identified as threats to your project. Then output, after doing these things, feed report, front end engineering design, and project charter. Project charter is the first document which can give green signal to your project that, okay, now your project can kick off. So I will be sharing in the later part of this session or this series, project charter, templates, what are the more detailed things involved. So the next part is detailed engineering. From this concept design, you have to make it more detailed one. So this is called detailed engineering design, and some companies call it DED. So develop detailed engineering plans. First, you have already mentioned the points from this area to this area. Now you are going to make detailed engineering designs. This is part of feed documentation process. Procure equipment and materials. Obviously, on the basis of this detailed engineering designs, once you are preparing with all those your things, you are going to make your equipment and material procurement plans. Obviously, your project is to make your pipeline, your platform, your that picture, every single thing from storage points to transportation pipelines to wellhead to drilling pipes, everything need to be procured. And what you need, engineering drawings and equipment sheets for that thing. Detail engineering design, then construction. This is actually the sequence how you are going to carry out in the bigger picture. Basic design, detailed design, including procurement and resource management, and then construction. How you are going to implement your plans to be implemented as per site strategy, and commissioning. A lot of things you need to commission, okay? Test and verify operational readiness, conduct performance testing. So, and then operations, obviously once EPC, like this would be called as EPC. This is called E, and engineering means design, and then there is procurement, okay, and then there is construction. So this is called EPC. Once EPC is done, it's also included installation and commissioning as well. Once it's done, it's handed over to the client, then lifetime operation will be started. Like refinery, first time it's going to be erected, installed, and constructed. It would be called EPC or EPCIC. I will again repeat these things. In the later series of these videos, I will be explaining different kind of EPC, EPCM, EPCIC, okay? So this is operations. So once your refinery is going to be constructed, it would be under EPC or EPCIC. And then after it is handed over to the client, operation will be taken forward for lifelong time. Okay, so that phase would be called operation phase or maintenance phase. To maintenance will be required to enhance operation or lifetime cycle. Okay, so these are the things. So this is the most important thing as a planning engineer. You need to work in oil and gas field. You need to adapt that conceptual kind of things. Okay, so this is I hope you got it in very easy way. In my upcoming series, I would try to include more industry oriented things, write down in chat box or in comment area that what kind of more project planning control topics you require to understand. Thank you very much. See you in next video series. Thank you.